Here we are in Vizag for the second one-day, the road to World Club Gari. Rohit Sharma is back here. He's got roots here, in fact. And can India continue that winning streak now, add to the 9 that they already have? Let's ask our panel of extraordinary gentlemen that are joining us on Mastercard Cricket Live. Sunny G, Ajit Agarkar and Aaron Finch. Sunny G, one person who will walk onto this ground and know every inch and every blade of grass here is Virat Kohli. He has an exceptional record here in Vizag.
Yes, and I think it's just a vibe that you get. All I've got to do is make sure that I stick around for that first over or so, get my bearings right, get my footwork going, and there'll be another 100 in my book.
He's not the only one who has hundreds at this ground. Rohit Sharma as well, the captain, returns. He's got maternal roots here, so it's a bit of a homecoming for him. But also important because India now 9 consecutive victories. Can they add to that today, Ajit?
Yeah, I think without a doubt. I mean, it's still going to be tough. We saw even 188 and found a way to come back there as well. So they'll be a lot more confident going into this game.
But Aaron, is there a doubt? Because if anyone knows how to beat India in India, it's this man here. How did Australia come rebounding back?
Oh, I think they need to do against it, but hopefully they can bounce back and make it 1-1.
We want to see that, don't we? The competition between these two teams is always intense. This is the destination to see the incredible Premier League, incredible action, and that's what we're looking forward to. Let's get the show on the road. Well, lots to look forward to today. Can you hear that cheer that encapsulates you every time you walk out into a stadium? We've got something special, something priceless from Mastercard, an innovation, the 1 billion cheer. So eventually, will it be Rohit Sharma, the hitman, getting his hands on that trophy? He's back in the side, back to captain, back on a ground that he's last scored 100 in, along with a man who has 3 centuries and 250-plus scores here, Virat Kohli. Virat and Rohit walk out as 2 pillars for India, happy to relish every moment. Always great when you walk into like a stadium that you have great memories of. The fans have great memories of Team India playing here because they have a stellar record here. For the captain, Rohit Sharma, returning, he's spoken about the roots he has here. But also it is that World Cup here, This is to be the last 2 instances here in Chennai where you take a break and then come back. So what does he want to get out of today's?
He wants to win the match. He wants to get some runs under his belt because that's don't relax. Beating a team like Australia 3-0 is a huge achievement. It's such a confidence boosting win. So I think that is what they'll be looking for.
Speaking of confidence, Virat's always had that when he walks out against Australia. Aaron, you know that well. I'm going to ask you from your perspective of sharing a locker room with him, knowing that he comes out here with a plethora of runs. Just take me through what he does in a locker room when he walks out into a ground that he has confidence in.
Oh, he's very calm, and that's the thing, that it never changes his...
Which is why, going back to the previous game, what do you want to see from Virat today, or what can we anticipate in terms of the application?
Well, I think maybe when he's playing the left hand over the wicket, maybe just open his stance just a little bit. Because the way he got out, his left shoulder was very straight. So, he wasn't quite able to counter the little late movement. Just that. But these are all little things that, all great players, they know. He would have seen that dismissal at least 25 times. How did I get out? And he will have said to himself, this is what I need to do.
Absolutely. And guess what? You would have seen quite a few times because we broke it the last time we met you on Mastercard Cricket Live. And that is Virat Kohli's ad. It broke the internet where he asked all of you, the show is on every time the incredible Premier League comes. This will be the one-stop destination here on Star Sports for the Stars on Star, for Virat Kohli on Star. And here are some reactions to Virat's ad.
Ye fans match
The decibel levels have gone up. Virat asked you to put the show on. It's gone up because the Indian team has walked out. Can they add to that 9 consecutive they have? Or will Australia come resounding back? Lots more to talk about. You can never rule out Australia when it comes to India versus Australia ties, especially there's little bit of swing or seam on offer. Mitchell Starc will exploit it. Last 2 opportunities for him to play in India because he won't be playing the IPL, and goes once again to prove why left isn't right for Team India.
The Starc threat.
There is just something about that angle. We've known it, Sunny G. We've spoken about for years, the left-arm threat that possesses against India's top order. Not the greatest numbers when you look at Rohit Sharma and KL Rahul against that kind of fast bowler. But why is that angle so challenging, and for them in particular?
Look, that is the reason why you have this not-out rule for balls pitching outside the leg stump.
Absolutely. Well, if that's the case, if anything is on offer, we know that it'll be exploited. Let's welcome one superstar in the house. The reason for all these cheers are not just because of the men in blue, but Nani, thank you so much for joining us here on Mastercard Cricket
Hi,
Live.
sir. Big fan.
How are you? Nice to meet you.
With the legend.
Hi, how are you? Pleasure meeting.
It's such a pleasure. Thank you for taking out the time. An atmosphere like this, Nani. Obviously, all of them are cheering for you, not just the men in blue. But have you experienced this before, coming to an India game? What was that like? Where did you go for?
Oh yes, I've attended a couple of even IPL matches, but I think
This is why you come to a stadium, to stand here next to the players. And also, I'd love to know about your experience. We all know about Jersey. I mean, it's critically acclaimed. Brilliant job for you. How difficult was it for you to get into the heart and soul of the cricketer? I mean, I know physically also it must have been challenging.
yeah, it was 2-3 months. I did a lot of practice.
It's perfect. We're going to get you back here to get you back in touch with cricket. So, I got to ask you, who's your favourite player? Who do you enjoy watching?
Yeah. Favorite player, obviously, I think Rohit.
Overall, it can be overall also.
Overall, I've always been a Sachin Tendulkar fan.
Yeah.
He made me love cricket, so I'll say Sachin Tendulkar all time.
Of course,
yeah.
we can completely understand it as well. Tell me about your latest movie, Dasra.
It's releasing March 30th, and Dasra is releasing in 5 languages: Telugu, Tamil, Malayalam, Kannada, and Hindi. And it's a film based in rural Telangana, but with a lot of adrenaline. It's an action, it's an emotional action drama. I think it's going to be a great theatrical experience for everyone. So fingers crossed. We're just waiting. Yeah.
Absolutely, waiting for that, Nani. Please do stay with us. Let's have a look at the conditions that we have on offer today with our pitch report. Oh, there you go. Traditionally, we have seen teams prefer to chase over here. Now, I've got this in hand because the great, iconic Sunil Gavaskar is going to judge just your cover drive. You want to show him a cover drive? Shall I hold that for you? Go ahead. What do you remember most from your training?
Is this a cover drive? I don't know.
Nice.
Nice.
Very nice.
Very good.
Very nice.
That is a big.
I particularly like the way that today everybody has their foot opened up to be able to play that drive. That's exactly what he did. Earlier on, it used to be a little bit more towards extra cover, but today is the modern way. This way, he got it absolutely perfect.
Very good.
Completely.
This is amazing.
That coming from Sunil sir, I think it's a big thing.
Now, obviously, you would have followed Sunrisers for years, so we all love David Warner, right? I mean, he's like a hometown hero.
Yeah.
I know he switched teams and all that, but
Yeah.
a great friend of David Warner is standing here, Aaron Finch.
Former Sunrisers player.
Yes, also amongst the 9 franchises which you played at. Former Sunriser player. I promised him that by the end of this tour, I would teach him some dance moves. Please, could you help us?
Of course.
Because he says he has 2 left.
Something very simple, basic.
This better be very basic.
Very basic, 100% very basic. So it is Doom Dum Dostan 2 times.
That's all you're getting out of me, Dancy.
Amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. That's my first dance class.
Amazing.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
joining us.
Thank
All
you.
the best
Thank
for the
you.
movie.
Thanks, sir.
We really enjoyed all of this. And thank you for helping me fulfill my ambition of getting Aaron Finch to dance on Mastercard Cricket Live. All good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Of course, so much for us to look forward to. There will be dancing when the incredible Premier League. There will be some competitive cricket when the incredible Premier League starts on Star. There will be captains and players and friends going head to head. And we get you all the behind the scenes footage as well of all right, there you go. So it was very fascinating. We'll get a chance to get you all of that behind the scenes as well. On that note, we'll take a breather. When we come back, it's going to be the all-important toss. Make sure to stay with us. Guys, can you give me a count? Hey guys, thanks so much for joining us over here on Mastercard Cricket Live. So much for us to look forward to, especially when the incredible Premier League returns. Yes, it'll be a chance to see Gujarat up against, of course, Chennai. Chance for us to see Hardik up against Jadeja. Before they go head to head, let's find out what happened behind the scenes.
This is Chennai Super Kings, 31 March Star Sports पर.
Of course, the incredible Premier League will be on. Star Sports will be your only destination to get everything behind the scenes, all the excitement as well as we await what would be the toss as well. I mean, at Wankhede, it was almost a given that we were not going to get any surprises at the toss, Sunny. I'm not so sure we're expecting that either. Traditionally, teams have preferred chasing here.
Yes, I think, but with the due factor, that is always.
They've got the ground ready, the preparations. But then what do you expect out of the wicket? when the conditions have been like this, when the humidity is around?
The pitch was covered, so I don't think there'll be too much of an issue. The ball will come on quite nicely onto the bat. I haven't actually gone to the centre and seen it. But knowing the record, what's happened, knowing what has happened in previous matches, it's a very good batting pitch. Yes, this is an Indian pitch. There will be just a bit of turn. Maybe sometimes the boss would love going and
Would you gentlemen like to pad up, walk out there together? That might be nice.
Sorry, say that again.
Would you like to pad up with Sunny G, walk out there together?
Yeah, I'm not sure that our running between wickets would be all that good anymore.
Yeah.
Myself included, but it does look like a really good wicket. There's a few cracks there, but as hard as a rock. So I expect the new ball to swing a little bit and potentially seam a little bit. But if you get through that initial burst of 5 or 6 overs, it's going to be tough for the bowlers, I think.
As the last captain that beat India in India, talk to me about the mindset here. You know, you walk in where your opposition has an exemplary record. You know that you've needed as a unit to kind of avoid collapses because it's been happening across formats. You need to come back in this game. So what do you do there?
It was interesting to hear Marcus Stoinis talk about maybe they got complacent with the depth of their batting the other day and kept trying to go really hard rather than rebuild a little bit. That's always a fine balance to find in one-day cricket. How hard do you continue to go? Because the pressure that India put on you with the strength of their batting is that you always think you need more runs. You need more runs, and that can sometimes leave you short. Australia need to be aggressive still, though. The one thing you can't do against India is take a backward step, because they'll walk all over you if you allow them to get ahead in a game in this country.
Just briefly, Sunny Ji, we expect Rohit Sharma to be back in place of Ishan Kishan, or are you shifting Ishan Kishan in place of Surya down the order?
I don't think that they'll make any change apart from Rohit coming in place of Ishan Kishan. Surya Kumar Yadav has got a fantastic record in the T20. Yes, he hasn't quite fired in the one-day game, but I think he'll keep his place.
All right, so there you go. This is what we've been waiting for, to see if Australia can rebound back or if it's all game for India. Toss start.
It's a nice
the toss. They have put India into bat first. Doesn't matter as long as you get some cricket action. That's what the fans here in Vizag do want to see as well. Let's just discuss with Sanjay Manjrekar and Aaron Finch as well, just a few of the changes. 2 changes for both sides as well. Gentlemen, let's join us. So 2 changes expected with Captain Rohit Sharma coming back as well, but you've got a third spinning option in. You've picked Shardul out, and changes expected for Australia. I like the little switcheroo you've done. Well done, Finchy.
Thank you.
Because we can hear each other better now. It's pretty loud, right?
Yeah, it's very loud. Very loud. But I think the changes for Australia, Alex Carey was ill last match, so that's just a straight replacement for Joshing.
What India seem to have done as well, because, well, more like an all-rounder, because we know Aksar's prowess with the bat, so they've kind of added in both departments with that change-up.
Yes, I think good selection.
Certainly adds to all departments as well, and gives all of us another opportunity yet again to see 2 modern masters to go round to round. Yes, it's red too. You know Steve Smith in India, he has an average about 65. I mean, he's got 5 centuries, he's got 5 half centuries, and at this ground, Virat Kohli has 3 centuries, 250 plus score. Are you ready for round 2? Really 2 extraordinary masters of their game in all formats. But Aaron Finch is, kind of new to us here on Mastercard Cricket Live, Sanjay. He hasn't heard about fan pulse yet. So we've asked the fans who they think will have a better day. Will it be Steve Smith?
I think I know what the answer will be.
Would you know the percentage? Guess the percentage.
I'm going with, there might be a few Australians who have polled. I'm going to say 95%, something like that.
Game on. 93% believe Virat Kohli will have
Who are the 5%?
Exactly.
Who are those 5%?
Exactly right. There's because some questions asked of some disloyal fans.
Fair enough. Look, at the end of the day, it's just fun and games for us, but the truth of the matter is they're both so extraordinary for their teams as well. One more player who's been extraordinary for Team India batting at number 5 has been KL Rahul. You think about the last 16 innings that he's had, 8 of them have been 50 plus scores. Yes, there's so much chatter about what's been going on when he wears the whites, but when he wears the blues for Team India in a World Cup year, he's getting you across the line. I mean, KL can only control the controllables. That's walking out here and doing what you can get. But if that earns you a test spot again, we leave it to KL Rahul to make those decisions for us. But last time we saw Team India play advice here, it was KL and Rohit Sharma that got hundreds. Now, you've got to make sure you break up that partnership.
Absolutely, and I think having somebody who opens the batting who's got a good solid technique, but is also can be destructive against spin. I mean, this boundary's not big enough for him.
I was even going to ask Aaron, what did you do? Where did you plan to bowl to him later? We'll get that question later, because there is one thing you can do, and that obviously is turn to Mitchell Starc, because it paid dividends in Wankhede as well. So how do you survive the left arm pace threat? Well, India's former batting coach Sanjay Banga explains.
Counter the new ball threat of Mitchell Starc.
We're almost underway here, but another 2 weeks we'll be underway with the incredible Premier League on Star Sports, your only destination to get everything related to your heroes as the Titans take on the Super Kings.
Chennai Super Kings 31 March Star Sports पर.
So Rohit Sharma back to lead the side. India will be batting first. Can they seal the series today? Well, let's find out. Been India's lowest total against Australia in India. That's how we say hi to you with Sanjay Banga. Just threw out all the stats there to India's former batting coach. As India's former batting coach, we've obviously spoken about the threat that left-arm pace has possessed. But overall, what kind of conversation would you be having right now if you were still in that locker room?
Well, I mean, it's a tough one because it was an outstanding spell of fast bowling from Mitchell.
What a spell actually from Mitch Starc. Our thumbs up to Fani moments, those back-to-back wickets from him. It's his 9-5 wicket all overall, second against India, first in India. What did impress you most about his bowling today?
Well, he's certainly made a beautiful comeback after how he was bowling in the test matches. Test matches, he was literally putting the ball up. There is a chance that you may concede runs. He conceded runs, but he also picked up wickets by floating that ball fuller up and at pace.
It's really interesting. There are talks in the Australian camp after that injury to the tip of what was, his middle finger. Now using the index finger a little more might have helped his swing. That's the gossip that you hear. Do you think there's any truth to that?
Well, I mean, obviously you have to find somebody, whoever has found that, obviously you should give credit to him because he's done really.
Nation we're looking at the World Cup, just proving a little bit towards the end, that flourish with the bat.
Yeah, I mean, he's high on confidence, he's high on form, he's got runs under his belt, and today he was ran, he couldn't open his shoulders, but the very fact that he is able to do that with ease against a bowler like Mitchell Starc showed what kind of a facility, for what kind of a form that he's in at the moment.
Sanjay, speaking of form, just as Aaron Finch joins us as well on Mastercard Cricket Live, speaking of Virat Kohli, that innings, he averages over 100 over here, looked in great touch. Then Nathan Ellis comes in for his post over. What happened? Just talk me through that passage of play.
Well, I mean, he looked great.
Talk me through that passage of play as well, Aaron, your entire assessment of the way that Virat was batting and then just almost against the run of play.
Yeah, it was out of the blue, that dismissal. I think what was so impressive, the way that he started, the ball was just moving enough, but he's able to drive down the ground. That shows that his balance and his timing is...
Your mic's not working, so we'll just use it.
His balance and his timing was brilliant from the start, and Nathan Ellis just got it to slide in ever so slightly past the inside edge, that's not easy to do to Virat Kohli to get him trapped LBW.
All right, well, gentlemen, Sanjay, I request you to just share your mic with Aaron until we get one sorted. What about this moment in the field? Superman? No, Steve Smith. You just need Steve Smith. We don't need Superman. It's not the fun.
The captain, you're so involved, so glued to the action, each and every ball, that it actually helps in plucking up catches like that. Maybe, Pinchy, you can answer that because you've been in that position way too often.
Yeah, I think what's so impressive about his captaincy is how...
That ever since that he hurt the tip of his middle finger, he uses his index finger more. Is that producing more swing? Have you heard that?
I haven't heard that, but...
Does it make sense?
Well, it does make sense. Was dismissal today. The head gets dragged wide and you're so vulnerable there.
Sure. All right, well, excuse me, we're having a few audio issues. Thank you so much for joining us and helping us out from that moment. But you know what? Just about 2 weeks to go before we get our incredible stars here on the Star Sports Network. Yes, they will all descend here. Incredible cast that will show you 74 days of action where you need to be glued to your TV screens. The curtains have been raised. It really is going to be an extraordinary panel that we've assembled. Sanjay Manjareka join us. We're going to go old school here and share. I'm teaching my young 2.5-year-old that sharing is caring, gentlemen. So sharing is caring. We're going to share our mics. An incredible panel that we have assembled with now Aaron Finch also joining us. Sanjay, you're with us for the IPL. What does it feel like as an analyst, as a commentator to, be assembled with all these different commentators from across the globe as players? You have your own stories. Like, are we going to poke a little fun at Finchy, rag him a little bit?
That is something he has to expect.
I'm going to be tough on you, Aaron Finchy. I mean, it is tough. So we'll get a little bit of a quiz, and of course, Sanjay can help me out with this because he knows his numbers, his stats. Great catch, Finchy. Good start. You've played for 9 franchises, as we know. Let's name them all.
In order?
It's up to you.
Rajasthan, Delhi Daredevils back then.
Well,
So, Sanjay, you can also, if you know this, go for it. Aaron Finch has taken 1 wicket in the IPL.
Yes, I have.
Whose wicket was it?
oh, that's tough.
I know he remembers.
I remember this one.
Yeah, well done.
Think big.
Oh,
Thanks so much for joining us once again on MasterCard Cricket Live 118. What Australia need to level this series. Just behind us there, you can see Siraj, Shami, Hardik going through the paces. They know that they have to execute something to stop that bandwagon.
yes, I don't think India will go to Kuldeep Yadav and all those people yet. They'll try exactly what Australia was successful with. And to be fair, India have got the quality, so there's a good chance they'll get some early wickets. But, you know, with the knowledge that you've just got to chase so many, that's an advantage that you have when you're batting second. So they'll be a little more watchful. A couple of loose shots that set off the Indian collapse with Rohit Sharma and Shubman Gill. You won't see that happening. There might be a couple of batters will come out and, you know, start playing shots. But when you have that kind of a target in mind, very rarely, you know, you see mishaps happening.
Actually, yeah, it's all about the intent. What would you expect from the intent? Because you do have Siraj and Shami who do bowl well, you know, in tandem.
Travis Head needs no second invitation to go hard at the top of the order.
It's true, and India also do have 3 spinners at their disposal. The one with the golden arm, Ravindra Jadeja, got the breakthrough when Australia really were taking the going away at the Wankhede, and he is making a comeback and making himself heard. Really making impact after that comeback from 8 months into this format. The question is for Rohit Sharma, and from a captaincy perspective, you can tell me, when do you bring in Ravindra Jadeja?
They don't have too many choices. They've gone 1 extra spinner. But I'm hearing until Marsh, I mean, last game, he got 81 in the 20th over of the innings. And suddenly he got out and the whole game changed. So he'll play similarly. And one of the things India didn't do, because they had such a great stock of seam bowler, they didn't introduce spin very early to Mitchell Marsh. So that might happen because they look at him now in a small score chase as a guy to get out very early.
You know what, it will be exciting without a doubt if you do have that opportunity. Just 118 to try and level the series from Australia's perspective. So chase on, we'll enjoy that. And just remember, the stars will descend on star. The IPL is just around the corner. These 2 gentlemen will of course be there with us in the commentary box, in the studios, and the television. That's a place you want to be. Can't wait for the stars to descend on star just around the corner, just 2 weeks away, 31st. Mark your date. Let's talk about this chase here, because traditionally in Vizag we know that it's been easy. Chasing has been easy. The sun is out. Looks like a nice time to walk out and bat.
Yes, but miracles do happen, and let's hope that happens. India doesn't lose at Vizag too
Got
much.
a great record.
Yeah, so the thing is, to be very honest, you know, India not in a great position. But we are basically all cricket lovers. Yes, when India wins, you feel nice as an Indian. But I was delighted by the quality of cricket that we saw in the last game. India bouncing back, and just the seam quality, the batting, and today as well. Quality top-notch.
Well, just as we mentioned that the decibel levels have gone up, gentlemen, that means that the players are out there ready to walk back out. It is a chase on. Can Australia level the series, or can India win it? We'll see you later. Importantly, for the perspective of this prestigious series, this rivalry is alive. We go to the decider in Chennai, and as true cricket fans, that's exactly what we want. The nature of the defeat, I'm not so sure about that. Ajit Agarkar, yeah, that was quite a statement from Australia there.
Yeah, I think the day started with some rain, ended with a storm. It was, hopefully it doesn't leave too many scars.
Well, our Oppo top performer, Mitch Starc, now that's 2 consecutive games that he's really found success. We know traditionally left-arm pace is a great threat, especially for, you know, Team India, but, you know, it is something about him that finds him so penetrative.
Yeah, I mean, someone who's, 6'6", swings the ball back into a right-hander at Yadav first ball. KL Rahul, who looked so good again, got out to another good ball. So, terrific performance, and sometimes you just have to hold your hand up and say well done to the opposition, and Australia were better on the day.
I mean, understanding why he's our Oppo top performer, especially those consecutive ones. But now going forward towards Chennai, because he's someone who looks like he's extracting something even when it seems like there's nothing on offer. How do you face him? How do you prepare against Mitch Starc?
Well, he's got 9 5-wicket hauls in his career, so I'm sure a lot of batsmen through the course. Apart from that, it's a very difficult ball to face. As soon as it swings at pace into the right-hander and consistently at that, it's a tough ball to face.
But Ajit, overall, when you're reflecting on the fact that 118 is what you set your opponent, so it's your lowest total that you made against Australia in India. Overall, it's very easy to say all this, but you go back and you think a ground like this here in Vizag, he has 300s already, 250 plus scores. One of them is a 99. You walk in with the aura, every blade of grass, Ajit, because you average over 100 over here. And he looked like that. He looked in great touch, almost again.
Disappointed because he got himself in and hit some pleasing shots at the start when Stark was bowling well. So, yeah, no one could go on today for India. I mean, Akshar Patel got 29 not out at the end, ran out of partners, but Virat was the only other guy who looked like, he could have got some run, made it a bit more competitive, not to be today.
Unable to find those partners as well. Virat Kohli, so much of what we've seen with him with that longevity that he has is because he vitalizes and values the fact that fitness means so much to him as well. Aaron Finch just joins us. But Virat Kohli is talking about all of you in Bangalore as well. If you're there, come join him in the 1-8 marathon. Virat will be there and he encourages you to run.
Meet me at...
You're present there. All right. At the mid-show, I asked Aaron Finch, what do you expect the intent to be from Australia? It's not the most largest total that we've seen. And he said, yeah, they're going to go at it. So pleased with that? Within 12 overs, game over. They more than just went for it. Competing for who might just have the fastest 50 between them.
Yeah, absolutely. That was brutal batting. And when you chase...
I completely recovered. How important is it to have that?
It's scary, isn't it? David Warner's not even playing. And we know how successful...
Does he get his spot back?
Yeah, it'd be a tough one.
Tell us, Pinchy, does he get his spot back?
His weaknesses as well with your partnership. So that's a really crucial part of batting together and feeding off each other. But he's confident. He's got a licence, he's got freedom, he's confident in himself, and his body's getting back to where it used to be. He'd get a run at it, he'd get a niggle, he'd miss a bit, so he'd never had that continuity of selection either. So now he's getting a good run at it. He's making a great case for that number 3 spot once David Warner comes back in the side.
Yeah, nice little opportunity with David Warner not quite ready, and he's taken it both games. Even in Mumbai, when the conditions were a little bit tricky, he seemed to be in a different class.
Ajit, when you're talking about bowling combination, something Rohit said is that we're going to go and possibly have 3 spinners when we look at the World Cup as well and go with those 2 seamers and of course Hardik. In terms of that, in terms of going to options, does this work for you?
I think so. Going forward, you might get some wickets which are a little bit tired. We saw in the first game as well, against Seam, Mitch Marsh was very good. When Jadeja came on to bowl and then Kuldeep, they could control it a bit. I think that was the thought today. Just didn't have enough runs. Even when Akshar bowled, there was no pressure and they were going for everything. But he still bowled well. So going forward, and Akshar adds so much depth to the batting with the way he's batting at the moment. So I'm sure it'll change according to situations or the venues that they play. But it's still a good combination when Hardik Pandya is your third seamer and who's bowling consistently.
Well, we were just talking to Ajit about the application, but you can just tell us from India's batters' perspective today. Rohit Sharma walking back into this, scored 100 last time he was here at Vizag. So what did you make of his innings in the dismissal in particular?
I thought he looked good in these 15, 20 balls that he played. And then a loose shot, must be said, especially on the back of Shubman Gill. Sometimes the tone that is set from the batters can have a ripple effect through the innings as well. And when there's some places up for grabs in that Indian middle order, there's been a lot of talk about Surya's spot. There's a bit of pressure building there too.
You kind of analysed it. There is a bit to talk about, especially in that middle order when you have players returning as well. Let's cross over now to the presentation and hear what captains have to say. Incisive match-winning spell there from Mitch Starc, and now at least the series goes to Chennai. That's where it will be decided. Speaking of Chennai, there'll be an action in the opening day of the IPL. Just about 2 weeks to go for you to get a chance to see all the stars descend on Star. Exclusive behind-the-scenes footage, in-depth analysis, and a whole lot of fun. These are the stars that will be on Star. So many superstars on display once the IPL comes around. Speaking of superstars, Mitch Starc is joining us here on Mastercard Cricket Live. Phenomenal, incisive bowling from you. Your first fifer in India, believe it or not. I thought you'd feel comfortable standing next to this man who's just made his commentary broadcast debut in India in this series.
And dance too.
Yes,
and
I have accomplished that.
Which is helping me swing the ball and swing it slightly later too.
That's 2 back-to-back really successful games for yourself personally. You've been coming to India for so many years. What for you personally do you always need to keep in mind of the adjustments that you need to make on these Indian wickets?
I I don't think
This is open, well and alive, decider in Chennai. How geared up are we for that?
Yeah, excited. We get an extra day off too, so it was a quick turnaround for this one. But no, it'll be exciting. It's what you want. You want deciders in series, particularly against Australia and India. So, yeah, really excited to head to Chennai, get ready for the decider, and hopefully another great crowd to watch a good game of cricket.
We're really excited. Thank you so much. Great bowling today. Good to see the missus also doing well in Indian conditions. Thank you so much for joining us, Starkey. But it's really been amazing to witness that sort of bowling incisiveness as well, and great to have him on the show here on Mastercard Cricket Live. On that note, I'm going to take a breather. But listen, don't go anyway, because the experts who will be here on Star Sports, we are revealing that panel of experts right after this match is over. So stay on for that.
The incredible
and sweat.
Heaviest defeat for India in terms of deliveries left inflicted in Vizag, actually, where they have a tremendous record. Two particular batters to talk about, Surya and Shubman Gill. If you look at both the one-dayers, similar manner of dismissals. Now, you've just got one ODI left in the Chennai. How do you break out of that?
Well, I think for Shubman Gill, there's probably been a couple of loose shots, which would disappoint him, but especially being in such great form. He would be looking to visit, that's where he's bowling. He's got to be sharper than that in his first couple of balls.
But you may be making any changes at all for Chennai?
In such a short series, not really. The one thing, I mean, we spoke about it briefly, about the bowling combination. Whilst on paper it looks great to have three spinners and three seamers, the third seamer at this point is Hardik. We don't quite know how much bowling he's going to do. That's the one area I think India should look at going towards that, or going closer to that World Cup, is who that third seamer is going to be. If Bumrah doesn't make it, you've got to know who that next guy is, whether it's going to be Umran, who's in the squad. Unadkar at the moment is there. I'm not quite sure what the situation with Arshdeep is, whether he's fallen out of favour. Hopefully not, because he's a huge talent.
And provides a left arm too.
Absolutely. So that's one area that India need to perhaps figure out who the guy is. Shardul played the first game, but he's more the all-rounder or adds a bit of batting depth. But otherwise, not really. I mean, when you get first bowlers, that's the worst time to leave somebody out.
Fair enough. Lots for Team India to think about as they head towards Chennai as well. The trophy, in fact, the IPL trophy, will be with you all. And I'm going to make things easy for you at all. Get up, because the IPL anthem is here. Get ready to move. I'll see you in a bit.